Hi, everyone. I'm Bob Meixner, Director of Product Management with Oracle Content Management. Welcome to today's presentation. Today, we are talking all about how you can get the most from your content management system. So let's take a quick look at the agenda. We all know what content management systems are, but what we're going to do is we're going to start off talking about what is the content problem? What are most people trying to solve within their organizations? We'll take a look at the solution, and then we'll talk about customers and use cases for Oracle Content Management. And finally, why you should be looking at Oracle Content Management to solve your content management challenges. So let's get into it. Let's first talk about the content problem. All right, so you're all probably watching this presentation because you understand that content management is absolutely an essential piece of technology within your organization. But for so many organizations out there, content management is really completely broken, right? And why is that? Well, most organizations are dealing with lots of old disconnected content systems, right, that have lots of different, very diverse types of assets, whether it's images, videos, newer asset types that might facilitate an AR or VR experience. Then, of course, you have your traditional web content. And then there's a lot of different other back office content like contracts, invoices, and records. That is spread across a variety of different content systems, some that are designed to store content and others that really aren't, like HCM and ERP systems. A lot of that content needs to be accessible outside of those systems and across multiple channels. So there's more and more channels that organizations are faced with managing. And of course, the more content you have, the more channels you have, the more systems you have, the more teams are involved in making sure that the right content is being created, being managed, and also being retained. And by having so many disconnected systems, that's resulted in inefficient teams and frustrating experiences for customers as well as employees. Now, why is this, right? Why is this happening? Well, a lot of organizations are leveraging older content management systems that frankly were never really designed to fully address all of the content management needs within an organization, right? And there are many of them. So in some cases, there's too much content creation friction, right? Creating and contributing content shouldn't be a chore. And when it becomes a chore, guess what happens? Somebody goes out and buys another content management system designed to fit their exact need, creating another silo. Other systems lack integration into business applications where the content needs to be accessible. And if the content isn't easily accessible within the business context that it supports, guess what happens? Somebody goes out and buys another content management system to solve that challenge. And let's not forget about all of the different channels that organizations need to manage as well. Traditional channels, emerging channels, all of that content needs to be consistent across channels. And again, a lot of older content management systems aren't designed to meet newer channel requirements. And then somebody goes out and buys another content system. The list continues, right? There are other challenges as well. There are challenges as it relates to content creators and developers, right? They should really be able to work in harmony and should be able to use development frameworks of their choosing and content creation applications of their choosing. That isn't always possible with older CMSs. There needs to be the right level of governance around content. And a lot of older content management systems have also forced organizations to really carry unnecessary maintenance burdens, right? We talk to a lot of customers that are using content management systems that are 10, 15 years old, that are on old hardware, are out of compliance. They're no longer supported by the organization that developed them. And that's a huge maintenance burden, and it's also a huge security risk. So how do we solve these problems, right? How can we solve these problems once and for all without having so many content management systems to manage across the enterprise? Let's talk about the content solution. So at Oracle, our solution really revolves around four pieces of our core strategy. The first one is, let's get everything into a unified platform, right? Let's offer a solution that provides a common set of capabilities across all content types and all channels. So you have the ability to support digital asset management needs, digital experience management needs for customer-facing and employee-facing experiences. Maybe you have some headless content development needs that are surfacing within your organization for apps and other emerging channels. You probably have some content services requirements where you're managing back office documents and records, and you most likely have content collaboration needs as well. Let's bring all of that into a unified platform, into a single, offered through a single modern software as a service solution. So that's the first primary piece of our strategy. The second one is, let's make it composable and connected, right? Because content is going all over the place, and content needs to be accessible from within the business process or business application that it supports. So with a modern solution, you really should be able to compose any sort of headless experience using any framework that you choose, with the ability to pull in content of any type. And you also should be able to very easily connect that content to other business applications or experiences across your enterprise, across CX use cases, ERP, HCM, and beyond, right? We're really focused on putting content where it needs to be. And then the third is, let's add some intelligence to it, right? Content management systems have been around a long time, and many of them fail because they're just too hard to maintain. Business users and administrators don't like using them. And when they don't like using them, if they're too difficult, guess what? They don't get used, and you end up creating yet another content silo or island. So with intelligent guidance, we aim to essentially remove barriers to adoption by using AI and machine learning, along with very intuitive user experiences that you can tailor to your application and to your use case, and make those experiences and the content for them accessible across web, mobile, desktop, and native apps. And then the final piece revolves around packaged applications and samples. So there are lots of content-centric business problems that an organization needs to solve. And rather than reinventing the wheel or using a point solution, we are basically developing packaged applications to solve those challenges, and to do that with faster time to market, which helps you improve your return on your investment with ready-to-go apps that solve those challenges. And we'll talk more about those specific apps in a moment. But that's our overall strategy. And that overall strategy has created Oracle Content Management, which is our modern cloud-native offering that you deploy as software as a service to manage all types of content, right? So this is the architecture, if you will, that you're seeing on the screen right now. And if we look at this, starting really from the bottom up, as I mentioned, this is a modern cloud-native application. It's deployed on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. You don't have to worry about managing it. We take care of delivering all of the updates. We do rollouts every 2 weeks with zero downtime. Sitting on top of that is what we call a universal asset hub. And this is where we really get into the benefits of a unified platform, right? Because all types of content require essentially the same set of core services, and those core services, those core capabilities, are delivered through the Universal Asset Hub. And those are things like making it really easy to pull content in from third-party applications, making it easy to automatically tag and categorize that content, make it searchable with smart AI-driven search, control who can access it, publish it, analyze the content, perform retention and archiving, those types of things. And that's not an exhaustive list, but that's a quick example. And then the middle layer here are essentially the different other components of the application that are designed to provide very specific capabilities depending on your use case. So maybe you're managing marketing assets and a lot of creative assets. So you'll leverage digital asset management capabilities that we'll talk more about. Perhaps you're needing to create structured content that goes out to a website or a digital assistant. That's all supported and managed in the solution with versioning and tracking and comparison and those types of things. Then you have your content services or ECM capabilities, where we make it really easy to capture content, store it, manage it, and secure it. And then finally, the collaboration piece. And we'll talk more about these all more specifically in a moment. But those are a lot of the core capabilities. Now, we all know that content really isn't valuable unless it's being used somewhere in an experience. So the next layer up, the headless and the digital experience platform boxes, are really the tools that organizations can use to expose that content to various channels. It might be headless channels, and you may use our GraphQL support and our experience orchestration capabilities to inject that content and consume that content in other applications. Or you might want to create a web experience, a website, or a portal using our drag and drop website builder tool. Either way, we have you covered, and many of our customers use both. The final layer at the top are the applications and samples that I was talking about. So these are really quick applications that you can deploy right within Oracle Content Management. It's very easy to turn them on. Maybe you want to expose your digital assets through a brand portal, or you want a really easy way to collect all of your content and incorporate it into emails and marketing campaigns. There's the email builder app, and so on. So super easy, simple apps that are designed to solve very specific business problems. And of course, Oracle Content Management has a whole set of APIs and an integration layer that allows you to embed and inject content and content management functionality into all of Oracle's applications across our entire application stack and our broader partner and third-party ecosystem. So that's Oracle Content Management in a nutshell. As we take a look at the solution in a bit more detail, right, we manage, as you probably have gathered now, we manage both sides of the content management coin, right? There's the universal asset hub. There's the capabilities that support contributors and those that are creating and managing content, making it really easy to create content, route it through workflow, augment it, and tag it using AI. Maybe we're leveraging some content recommendations technology to help us create content faster or relate content together. And then, of course, we also have the delivery aspect as well, right? You have the ability to associate content with any number of channels and either create channel-specific content or leverage content, a single piece of content across multiple channels. And those channels could be channels that you create in the application using our website builder. You might have other Oracle applications that are consuming that content, headless front ends, or other third-party channels. And experience designers love this because they have a whole array of options to get at that content and use it across really any channel or destination. So let's talk specifically about the use cases and some customers that are taking advantage of these capabilities. So the first one is digital asset management, right? So you've got a screenshot here that you can see on the left that shows you the assets view, and we make it super easy to find content. And we also make it really easy to create content, right? Because when we're dealing with digital asset management, most organizations, if they have an agency or a creative team, they're using Adobe Creative Cloud. So we have full integration into Adobe Creative Cloud. So there's zero disruption to your existing work stream. You can leverage Adobe tools, save content directly into the repository, access all of the content and renditions from the Oracle Content Management application in Adobe, workflow, you name it. There's lots that we expose directly through Adobe. The smart tagging capability, once you've got an asset in the system, it will go through and use computer vision and AI to automatically tag the asset. So it makes it really easy to find it. We generate renditions automatically, so you don't have to worry about different sizes being right for your different channels. That content can then be associated to multiple publishing channels, and you can decide where and when those assets are published and set expiration dates. And we bundle a CDN with the solution as well. So this content is delivered across multiple channels very, very quickly, and that includes streaming video. So Oracle Red Bull Racing is an example of one of our customers that leverages us for digital asset management. If you happen to be attending the conference in person, they're participating in the Raise the Bar content management panel, and they'll be talking about how they use Oracle Content Management to store and manage the video clips for all of their races, right? So you can think about the massive amounts of video that they have from their events. All of that gets stored and managed in the digital asset management system, and it's very easy to find a clip and incorporate it into various marketing campaigns. They also use our Sauce video creation tool that is part of Oracle Content Management to engage fans and make it really easy for fans to create videos based upon campaigns. And it gives their marketers a tool to review all of that user-generated content and edit it together into a really nicely polished video clip that they can use in marketing campaigns. So lots of cool stuff going on in the digital asset management space. Now, of course, what goes along with digital assets? Well, there's a lot of content that typically goes along with digital assets. So if you're creating a headless experience or building a website, you've got all of the structured content that you need to manage, and that's all available in the same platform. So Oracle Content Management includes a very flexible content model that allows you to really manage any type of structured content. You can very easily configure different content types, determine what attributes you want to track around that content. You can see on the left-hand side in the screenshot, this looks like a blog article or some sort of promotion where you've got a headline, a subheadline, some images, and some main content. Very easy to set that content up, relate content with parent-child relationships. And as folks are creating that content, we also provide a smart authoring experience. So we're prescribing digital assets to content creators in real time to streamline the content creation process. And these content entry forms are also entirely customizable. You can reskin them using HTML and JavaScript. So you can provide a really, really tailored experience to your content creators. And then once the content's created, it can be automatically categorized across a variety of taxonomies, which obviously helps for content discovery, recommendations, and delivery. And all of this is audited. We're tracking relationships between content items. It's very easy for contributors and other users to see what's changed between versions. We can track usage metrics. And Airborne, who's also participating in the same session as Oracle Red Bull Racing, is one of our customers that uses this to manage content across airborne.com. And they manage a variety of different types of content, whether it's promotional content or it could also be product content. They have over 400 different product families, and their product managers manage their content here, and then that's pushed out to multiple channels. So there's lots of different use cases for that capability. Now, speaking of pushing content out to other channels, this is where we get into the digital experience management piece. So what you're seeing on the screen here is the drag and drop visual site builder capabilities that make it really easy for organizations to take all of the digital assets that they're managing in the system and all the content and create experiences that render that content across multiple devices. Really easy to do this via drag and drop. You've got an inline, what you see is what you get editing tool. Anybody can create sites. We actually use this at Oracle to allow Oracle employees to create their own sites, both internally and externally. We have over 11,000 sites that run on this platform. So it scales and it's easy to use. And there's the right level of governance around it, right? So you can ensure that these experiences are secure, they're on brand, and compliant with your organization's needs, both internally and externally. From a development perspective, these experiences can be developed using templates and components in any JavaScript framework, so we don't lock you into a particular technology. If you want to use React or another JavaScript framework, it's totally up to you. And then, of course, this is all deployed in the Oracle Cloud, so you have automatic scaling, so there's no issue with dealing with growth or seasonal peaks because you're leveraging Oracle's global data centers and, of course, our CDN. So Federated Insurance is speaking at CloudWorld about how they're using this to manage several sites externally, as well as agent portals. So speaking of agent portals, their agent portal happens to be a headless deployment. So they're leveraging a different front end, and content management, Oracle Content Management, will be delivering that content and managing it on the back end. And that's all through API, right? So this portal that they're creating is a React-based portal, and they're leveraging our APIs, whether it's REST or GraphQL, to really optimize the delivery of that content. And the beauty of our headless capabilities is you don't have to sacrifice usability, right? If you design your experience right, you have the ability to still allow content creators or marketers or whoever to create content in the CMS and preview what that content is going to look like out on the headless channel. So developers and marketers can work independently and together without any sort of bottleneck. Now, the other piece is enterprise content management or content services, business assets, business records. Organizations obviously have millions and millions of perhaps old paper documents or documents that have been digitized in some way that need to be kept for a certain amount of time. And they need extremely scalable ways to store and archive those business assets all in one place with guaranteed uptime and built-in failover. So all of that can be done in this same application as well. And of course, enterprise content management tends to be less associated with exposing content and more associated with securing it. So you have granular security by role or asset type or category or classification. There's lots of different ways to get content into the system, whether it's through scanning, emailing, monitoring a network drive, and that content gets converted into a searchable PDF. You can associate metadata to it so that it's easily findable. And should you choose, you can obviously use the site builder capabilities that we just talked about to expose this content to those who need it in a portal format, maybe a supplier portal or something of that nature. And then, of course, you have all of the business process workflow to route that content for review if you need to do that. And this is another area where Airborne is in the process of rolling out a solution for. With Oracle Content Management, they have tons of paper documents that they're working on digitizing related to their products and different compliance initiatives, and that's all being rolled into Oracle Content Management. The final piece are the document management and collaboration capabilities. So this is what, where Oracle is actually a great example of how we're using this application. We have over 140,000 employees that use Oracle Content Management every day to store and share typical Office documents and regular files that people work with throughout the course of doing their jobs. We have over 800 million assets in the system, almost 2 petabytes of data. So when we talk about extreme scalability, this system is about as scalable as it gets. And of course, we integrate with Microsoft Office. So you have co-authoring and real-time editing with other users. You have all of your version control and auditing, so you can roll back and access different versions. You have the ability to obviously access this content anywhere, whether it's on your desktop, through the web, through mobile devices, and it's super easy to share this content out with secure links that expire when needed. So that's the overview of some of the use cases. Now, there are other apps that sit on top of Oracle Content Management that I alluded to at the beginning of the presentation. Sauce Video, Oracle Red Bull Racing is a big user of Sauce, very easy to create crowdsourced videos with speed and affordability, and provides folks with an entirely web-based or app-based experience to curate, collect, edit, and deliver those videos. The brand portal is a super easy site template to expose digital assets internally or externally. Sales Accelerator sits on top of Oracle Content Management as a sales enablement tool that enables sales teams to get access to the right customer stories and product collateral and training. And then Email Builder is coming soon, and that allows you to take all of the assets and content that you have in the system and use a drag and drop tool to create emails that are consistent with your brand standards. And then obviously you can leverage those emails in whatever email delivery application you choose. So we're wrapping up. Why Oracle? Why would you leverage Oracle Content Management for this? Well, we've been in this space for a long time, right? You can take a look at the screen here and see all of the acquisitions that we've made in this space. And we've essentially, across the board, had experience in every major area of content management, from ECM and DAM to portals. All of that expertise has been retained at Oracle. And back in 2015, 2016, we launched Oracle Content Management as a cloud native CMS. So it's a relatively newer application, but it's based on all of the learnings that we've had over the past 2 decades with content management and portal applications. So there's a lot of thought that has gone into this application. And if we take a look quickly at the 6 reasons why organizations choose Oracle Content Management, I've touched on a lot of these, but the first one is this is a modern cloud native application, super easy, low maintenance. We update it every 2 weeks. You're always going to have the latest and greatest. The second one is the sheer multitude of use cases that the application supports within a single solution. So the ROI tends to be really, really high. The usability is really high, and people love that they start with one use case and then it's very easy to add the next. Not only is it easy from a feature function standpoint, it's also really easy to do it from a licensing standpoint, because the third reason is we don't have any sort of restriction on the number of users or sites that you give access to the tool, right? Or create with the tool. It's all of our licensing is based on the number of assets that you store in the system. So it's super easy to size. The other pieces are number 4, right, where it's really easy to embed and inject that content into other applications, whether that's through our embeddable UI or the pre-integration that we have to other Oracle apps. And then number 6, as an added bonus, all of the user-generated content that you can leverage through Sauce Video, the Sauce Video application that I just talked about, Everybody's always looking for new ways to create and scale video, both internally and externally in their organizations, and SOS is a great way to do it. So with that, I want to thank you for attending this presentation. If you have any questions about Oracle Content Management, feel free to reach out to me. You can always find me at bob.meixner@oracle.com or hit me up on LinkedIn. Thanks, everyone.